Okay, good morning. We're moving forward with the sourdough. It more than doubled earlier. I was up to drive my daughter to the airport at 5 a.m. And now it's sunk a little, but it will work perfectly still the same. So, little mise en place here. So, we got your recipe pencil. So, we need the starter. Okay, we need 300 or more mils of water, or grams of water, I mean, and we need flour. Also have spatula for mixing, bowl, scale, and last but not least, again, a little bonnet that my mom made for the dough. So to get started, we're going to turn on our scale. We're going to tear it back to 0, and we're looking for around 120 grams of starter here. Okay. And just save the rest, can use it in many other recipes. Okay, so because this is super sticky, I always just let my spatula into and then tear it to 0. So 300 grams water. Lots of people use different kinds of water. I just use it filtered out of the fridge, but so I kind of like to slow it down once I get over 200 because it goes pretty quickly and it's easy to pour too much, although if you're a little off it's okay. But there we go, 301 grams of water. So now just a quick blend together so that they're all one. I want it to look like milky water, I guess, instead of them separate. So a nice mix together here. Okay, now we're just all one watery bit. Same thing. Just gonna tear it back to 0 and 500 grams of flour. There we go, 501. Okay, so now just mixing it all together. In sourdough, there's some stages afterwards here. I work it just a little bit after I get it mixed together here. And then we leave it every half hour for 3 times, stretch and folds, which I'll return to do one of so that you can see what that looks like. So basically just peeling off the extra goods here. So we don't waste it. And this will make 1 loaf of bread. It could make 3 pizza doughs also. So before I work it, I'm just going to wet my hands here. It just keeps them from sticking to the dough. And basically, I'm just forming it into a ball here. Again, I'm just going to rub the sides of my bowl here. Don't want to waste any of my stuff. There, we've got our ball ready to sit. The first time it sits for an hour, come back, stretch and fold 3 times, and I'll be back. Okay, so it has sat for about an hour. Basically just wet your hands, wash them, wet them. Doesn't stick to your hands as much. And give a pull and stretch and fold in. Just activating the gluten in the flour, really, just creating some tension, getting it to strengthen up before we let it rise. And the first time, stretch and folds, this was after an hour. I do 8, so basically 4 corners of my bowl, so to speak, twice. And now we're formed back in a ball. Recover and sits for half an hour. I do it 3 times, so an hour and a half. And then we let it rise for probably 6 hours, and I'll come back once it's done that and show you what the next step is. Okay, dough has sat and rose significantly. We're up to the very top of the bowl, doing well. Mise en place is simply rice flour, a container of water to dip my fingers in, my bowl here with my tea towel ready to place it for its final rest. I have one scraper for my bowl, needs to be flexible, and my bench scraper. And that's it. So out it comes. So at this point, we're not worried about it dropping down. We're going to be reforming it. So we're going to go in and just scrape off the sides. Again, it's really just to, I'm just going to wet it a little bit, just so we don't waste any of the dough. Make sure we get it all. I find like in the summer months, it sticks to the bowl a bit more, doesn't flop out like it would maybe in the winter. It's just a bit more moisture in there, I guess. And then I've got my rice flour spread out. And we're just gonna put it in there. You can see it. Sorry to peel away. Some people wait for it, but I don't. Okay. Scrape it all out. And one quick scrape for the left behind stuff. And you can just put your little chunks right on top, and they will do well. That's the end of that guy. So now for sure dip the fingers. So we've got our rice flour just to prevent sticking. I'm going to stretch it right out. Kind of a rectangular shape. Okay. And we're going to fold it in 3. So 1, 2. As soon as it starts sticking to the fingers, just need more water. Okay. Give it a turn. And I like to roll and fold my corners in. You can hear the air bubbles going, maybe over my dog snorting. There, sticking a little bit. And we're going to do some tension here. This, again, just keeps everything. The gluten is working. We're reactivating it a little bit. Again, like I said, it can be a little like looser in the summer, I find. Just a little bit. I'm just going to coat it now with my rice flour because we don't want it to stick. Some people use baskets with liners, but I find a tea towel and appropriate sized bowl works just as well. So again, just swooping, pushing them underneath. Okay, So I take my bowl. There's fancy tools for this, but I don't use them. And just dust the bowl. Okay. And I'm just going to use my bench scraper so I'm not wasting my rice flour. I'm going to dust the top. This will be the top of the bread when it cooks, but it's going to go in face down on the bowl. There. And you can see it starting to flop open. So I just go ahead and pinch it together. Make a little seam all together. Okay. And I'm going to, same thing. Should have enough rice flour left on your surface, just to use it for the dusting of the top. Okay. Just so it doesn't stick to your tea towel. And just fold the tea towel in like so, and we're gonna place it in the fridge for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll put it in the oven. Okay, so I'm doing my sourdough has come out of the fridge. Okay, and what we needed to prepare for this was preheated oven at 440, and my pot is also preheated. I have 2 oven mitts. I have my little carving tool for my markings that I put in it to help it rise and expand. Just going to show you it has already expanded again after being in the fridge. And then I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to make a deep incision down the center of it. Another one across because it's a large loaf. And this just gives it room to expand. And just some pretty ornamental bits here. So it's going to cook for 20 minutes on 440 with the lid. And then it's going to cook for 18 minutes without the lid. We'll pop it in the oven. Here it is. Like I said, it's a little softer with the summertime. There we go. And Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. Okay, so 20 minutes is up. I'm going to turn the temperature down to 420 and take the lid off. And it's going to go for 18 minutes. Okay, pulling out. Just gonna turn off hot oven. And I just flip it out. Rock test. Put it there on my cooling rack. There she is. All done.